How's it going, everyone? It's Josh Elbow, and I'm thinking about, so what this is going to be is I've decided I want to do a little video series of my personal best tips, success principles and stuff. Occasionally I throw this up on Snapchat instead, but I figured just make a group of videos all together with my personal success principles. So video one today, we're going to be talking about reading books. So it's not my very best tip, but I think reading books, there's a high correlation between reading people who read a lot and people who are successful, let's say. Bill Gates usually reads 50 books a summer. He takes a couple weeks off every summer just to read. And he's, the wealthiest guy in the United States. So there has to be some type of correlation. Warren Buffett reads. Multiple millionaires that I've spoken with all decided that reading was a good thing. Actually toured a couple of people who I was looking to have mentor me who are multimillionaires from Birmingham, which is an area near me, let's say. And their bookshelves were loaded with books. They had books on the nightstand, multiple. If you guys ever watch my Snapchat, I have books all over my dresser. I got my entire closet's loaded with books, and it kind of lets you escape from reality. I like to think of it that way, but it also gives you an opportunity to find new perspectives of other people. And then another thing about books, so I've read a book in the past called Freakonomics. I actually have it right here. It's called Freakonomics. It's by Stephen D. Levitt and Stephen J. Debner. They're both rogue economists, let's say. They don't think about econ the traditional way. They give it they don't use the neoclassical approach as much as they use the, I don't even know what the term is, just the classical economics. But the way they think about it, they break it down so that anyone would understand it. So they talk about how, obviously, basic economics says all people respond to incentives and stuff like that. But there's one portion in the book where they tell a story about, they ask the economic question, does a name affect someone's ability to succeed in life? So if you name your kid Michael versus if you name your kid Shaniqua or something cultural, let's say, does it affect job reports? And they actually their studies found that people with more, let's even call it white names because that was the term, less cultural names, did actually get higher job, more reached back to when they were hiring. In the end, they obviously broke it down to a name doesn't determine your fate 100%. It may have some effect or correlation, but it doesn't 100% affect your name. And then they talked more about how it was actually the circumstances and obviously choice. I believe that choices affect your what you get out of life, not your circumstances, but your choices, because you control the life you live. You can always make a change if you don't like what you like your circumstances, you can always make a change. So it got into once it started talking about the circumstances, they talked about parenting, and the people that were more likely to name their kid with the more cultural name generally had either higher chance of the father not being present in the household and other statistics like that, which would affect the child's growing up. From there, they went on to things that the parent could have done differently to affect their child's being successful in the future. What the two authors recommended was that even though not necessarily the fact that you read a book or you go out and get a book to read about parenting isn't necessarily going to make you a better parent, but the fact that you went out of your way to go get the book and look into the opportunity to read and learn more about it, that says more about you as a parent than actually reading the book. However, I still believe that reading is a great way to learn. So when you look at the different ways to learn, the studies have shown that reading is actually the worst, which is good, but it's still not the best for retaining the information, which is 3 to 6%. When you read, you retain it goes up a little bit when you're retaining a lecture, but it's up to 70 or 86% once you once you start doing things actually in public, not even in public, once you start doing things for yourself, through experience, you retain the most information. So I'm going to leave you with my 3 tips for reading. Read often, read once a day. Let's read. You can't really get into a book without reading an hour a day, so I like to read. I read a couple books periodically throughout the day, not covered front to back, but different sections, at least a couple chapters here and there. Read for an hour a day, let's say. When you do read, take notes in the margins as well as highlighting. And I guess my third tip would just be enjoy it. Like, I love learning. I love thinking of new things. I love getting creative and all this good stuff. I enjoy what I read. I read things that I like. I don't go read books about science. I'm not a science guy. I'm a business guy. So that's what I read about. Read about personal development and business, investing, accounting, finance, stuff like that. Some of you might think that's super boring, and I don't disagree with you at all. But I might find the exact same stuff that if you're a science guy, like Will Burma, you might find all of my accounting stuff super boring, but you might love your biology and learning about the stuff you've been sending me Snapchats of lately. So whatever you guys do, read more this year, 2017, make a difference in your life, and just get out there and read. As always, my Instagram for some motivation if you ever get bored, at @TheJoshElbow, as well as my Twitter. My Facebook page is Joshua Elbow. My Snapchat is Josh_Elbow. If you guys have any questions, comments, in the video link below. My email is on my Instagram page as well as all these videos. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you thought this was valuable, if you're looking forward to seeing the other videos I have coming, like I said, I'm doing this as a series. Click subscribe. Love to get a little notification that I have a new subscriber. Love making these videos. They're kind of fun. I don't know, I'm just getting into it, but I don't know. Until next time, guys.